We are live.
All righty.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Conversations on the Patio with Crystal and Jevon. I am Jevon Thomas, and with me is my good friend and colleague, Crystal. How are you, ma'am?
I am wonderful, rested and rejuvenated and back in the country.
There you go. Crystal Mitchell. Man, world traveler.
Yeah, I had a really, really, really good time.
Good deal. Good deal.
It was I went to New York first. My kids came in, my biz camp kids came in first and second. So we swept the nationals.
Nice.
Yeah, so really proud of them. And then from there, I flew to Cairo, and then to Luxor, and then I went to Aswan. Then I came back to America, stopped in D.C. to hang out in D.C. with my cousin. Then I flew back home.
Oh my goodness! Talk about a whirlwind.
Yeah, so that was my flight. That was my fun vacation, and I got rested. Lost 9 pounds while I was away, and
Wow.
on top of that, dropped my blood pressure by 10 points.
Wow.
Perfect
Wow.
vacation.
Yeah, that's the way vacations are supposed to be. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Any
Exactly.
vacation that you don't have to recover from when you get back is a good one.
Yeah, so no recovery. It was all good stuff. Good stuff. But how have you been?
I have been great. It's been good. I have missed you. We haven't done our shows in a while, so
Yeah.
I've been wondering, pining at the window for you to come back.
For me to come back. Well, I was supposed to be back last Sunday, but
Yeah.
lovely American Airlines didn't want that to happen. And so I had to cancel that flight and buy another ticket in order to get back when I did get back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So, but I'm
But
back
you're here
now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's get started. We've got a pretty interesting topic, seeing the time that we're in. We're going to talk about what to do now that the election is upon us.
Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about that before. Got 3 things to leave with folks. This is actually going to be geared towards people that are investors. So sometimes we just talk with owners of businesses, but this time we're going to talk to anybody that's got some type of qualified plan.
Okay.
And the 3 things are reviewing their portfolio, diversifying, and the last one, I think, which is the most important, is what to do with your emotions. So let's jump right in. First, though, let's read your bio,
Okay.
and then we'll get there. Okay.
Okay.
So, everyone, please welcome my friend Crystal Mitchell. She is a business coach and consultant, CEO of Mitchell Business Solutions, co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. She's also the co-host of The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, that other weekly online radio show. She's an instructor at Mount San Antonio Community College and a certified network for teaching entrepreneurship instructor. And last but not least, she's a QuickBook Pro Advisor financial strategist. Hey, Crystal, welcome.
Hey, Jevon. Good to be back and ready to dive in.
Okay, so how are you feeling about your finances regard to the election? Are you feeling nervous as to what's going to happen? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling that hopefully the person that I voted for is going to be the one that's going to win.
I think we all can agree that would be a good thing.
That would be a very good thing because I don't know what it would look like if it was the other side, and I don't think based upon I've been doing a lot of shows on leading up to this election and Project 2025, and if it goes the other way, we got some major issues, and I would imagine with that because of the plan, the stock market and the investment marketplace is going to be in jeopardy.
Yes, that is very interesting. It will be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, so I think, which is very scary because everybody, those, like we talk about all the time, those individuals that are that close to retirement could get caught up in this, right? And so this is a very important election for very many reasons, but freedom and democracy definitely being one. As a female, definitely concerned because we're being relegated back to prehistoric times. But I'm also concerned about what happens to the economy. Yeah,
Good point.
yeah. Because I think the last time he was in office, he stacked up $8 trillion in debt.
Increase the debt by, yes, that much.
Yeah, by the debt was $8 trillion, and the setbacks on can't get the budget. I think that was the longest time in American history that the budget wasn't ratified.
I don't remember that, so I don't want to comment, but
Yeah,
it's like par for the course, sure.
yeah. So there's some things. So yeah, people need to be aware, and then we'll just see what happens on November 6th.
There you go.
Or,
There you go.
no, we're either going to be very happy people, or we're going to be like, oh man. But from you, what do you think? From
Well,
the retirement, since you're sitting there with all of that going,
all that going on.
Uh-huh.
But I can't professionally talk about the election and
Right.
The happenings going on there, or Project 25. It's just not something that I want to get involved with. But for the parameters of this show, I can definitely talk about what people should think about their 401k, and that's why we really want to talk to you, because I really want to talk to folks, because there is a lot of concern, like you say, about what's going to happen to the markets. And clients are calling me and saying, this market's going to go to hell in a handbasket. I need to become extremely conservative. I've got a lot of people that are buying gold because they feel that it's going to hang on to its value. And even some financial advisors are feeling very nervous about the outcome of this election. And I don't even think I don't think I'm able to say that it's one way or the other, to be honest with you, depending on where you fall with regard to who it is that you're voting for. And I don't want to get into that, except to say, please vote. Your vote does count. But for our listeners, we need to talk about what is it that you ought to be thinking of for your portfolio. And one of the things that I'd like to say is that the way that the 401k plan, the qualified plans are set up, and this is really going to piss some people off, because they're really not going to like what I say, and that is that the way that they're designed to be run, and I want to say this carefully, is so that you do not, as an investor, just in your retirement plan, you do not react to what's going on in the market. Rather, you react to what's going on in your life.
Okay.
And that's very important, because outside of the retirement plan, which I'm not talking about, but outside of your retirement plan, it can be very, very mature, very credible to react to what's going on in the market, to be able to take advantage of the market. Inside the retirement plan, that's very difficult, because by the time you make a decision about what's happened in the market, it's already happened, and the chances you're going to be able to affect that or take advantage of that are pretty slim. So the deal is to get ahead of that ball, and the deal is to be proactive with what you're going to do. So looking at things from that point of view, I've got three things that we want to talk about. One, take a look at your portfolio. Please do that. Review that portfolio and rebalance your portfolio.
Okay.
Balance back to what your particular risk tolerance is, right? If you're talking with your financial advisor and you folks decide, okay, We're going to leave this money here because we quote unquote think that it's safe and secure. Um, I hate using those words. Let's say that it's a less volatile place. But this part over here, we're going to rebalance these future contributions. We're going to realign our asset allocation, and we're going to rebalance a portion of it, but some of it we're going to leave here. Whatever it is that you decide, and for whatever reasons you decide, make sure you're doing that before too long, right? Do that as soon as you can. So the first thing I would do is take a look at your portfolio, see if your asset allocation is appropriate, and rebalance your portfolio to the right mix. You want to do that. Get the right mix of stocks and bonds that's appropriate for you. And if you feel that you have to be very, very conservative, I have no problem with someone saying, you know what, I don't trust it. I need to be very conservative. That's what I'm going to do. And okay, you made that decision. That's fine. Certainly not going to suggest someone do that. But there may be some scenarios where that's incredibly important. I would say that some folks missed out on the opportunity, and this is going to sound completely opposite, but some folks missed out on the opportunity back in 2008 when they had their investments in a target date fund, which is a fine thing to do, but they were going to retire in the next year, and the fund was more volatile than they wanted it to be, more volatile for them. It's not a stock against targeted funds. They are what they are, and they're great for what they do, but you have to use them correctly. It's just like a tool in your toolbox. You know, if you have a hammer and a screwdriver, everything looks like a screw or a nail. So yeah, right. So you want to use the tools the way that you're supposed to. You don't want to try to screw something into a piece of wood with your hammer. Right. Targeted funds are a great tool. They just have to be used appropriately. And a lot of folks didn't do that. So talk about your investments with your advisor, see how they work, and rebalance your portfolio accordingly. That's what I would say.
Okay.
So that's one, or 1A, review and rebalance. 2, and I think this is the most important before we get to 3, which is actually the most important. 2 is make sure you're diversified. The retirement plans work on diversification. And this is something, Crystal, I just got to tell you, so many folks don't get it. So many folks think that it's investing in the market and it should be handled just like it's handled outside the market. And that's just not the way that retirement plans work. Retirement plans work on buy low and sell high. That's the way they work. And that's not because they are, I don't think that's a better theory than some of the other ones out there, but it is very defensible. There have been papers written on it, and that is the benefit that employers have bought into. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It's like there are all kinds of theories on how to make money in the market. This one particular theory is buy low and sell high. That's it.
And that's the overall general for being in the stock market period, right? I mean, ideally.
I don't know. I mean, in some situations, it's a great question. Thank you for bringing it up. In some situations, folks want their investments to just keep going up. We put a little bit of money in, it goes up, a little more money in, a little more money in. They just want it to keep going up. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about your investments going down. You profit from that downturn, and you profit from that downturn when they come back up, right? So in the 401k world, we're looking for a wave of investments throughout your career. And if you don't have the downturn, then you don't get the profits that you'd like to get when the market goes up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you think about it, there might be some folks out there at a particular age who are saying, the market's going to be the market. It's going to go down. It's going to come back. It will come back. And when it does, whatever downturn is happening here at this election, I'm going to profit with that in a year or 2 years or whatever. And I got time for that. So I can buy cheap now. There are some folks that are saying that. And so they really need to diversify their portfolio, because part of they're thinking that part of your portfolio should be going up and part of your portfolio should be going down. And that way you can profit in any type of market.
Mm.
There are some folks who say, I want to take more risk than that. So I'm going to put my portfolio, I'm going to put my assets in portfolios that are destined to be extremely volatile.
Mm.
Right. So
Okay.
what comes to my mind is small caps versus treasury bonds, right? Small caps are
Okay.
very volatile, whereas treasury bonds aren't. So if you're at that mindset, you've taken the questionnaire and you're one of those people that can just let it roll and be as aggressive as possible, then maybe that's an appropriate thing for you to do. On the other hand, if you're significantly more conservative, if you're saying to yourself, I don't like this, it's not going to be good, I don't want to go through this, then then if that's appropriate, then maybe a very conservative portfolio is a good idea. I would say if you're going to get a very conservative portfolio, and I know I'm going to get cards and letters, but I'm just going to put it out there, then you may want to consider some other vehicles along with your retirement plan to invest in for retirement, like a bank where you can get guaranteed return on your account, right?
Yeah.
You can
More
put two
more
hundred fifty thousand
stable.
dollars.
The
Or what?
stability is there. More
Yes,
stable.
more
Yeah.
stable. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So stability is your thing. Then the way that your 401k was designed, that's not necessarily appropriate. Those two don't always match up. So I'm glad you asked, because I talk to people who are outside of 401ks and they tell me, look, Jevon, if you really cared about these people, you would meet with them 4 times a year, the participants 4 times a year, and you would have their history and you would look at all of their goals and you would come up with a plan. And I say to them, what employer wants to pay for that? This is an employee benefit, right? It's
Yeah.
not like outside that, and if you go to a company that has that, most of those companies need, oh, household of $250,000, to invest. What
Yeah.
person making 40, 50K a year has that?
No,
And
that's
what
true.
employer wants to pay that fee? You want to pay me? I'll do it. They don't want to pay me. So we,
Ah,
we, you know, we dance with the woman we brought to the bar, right? So
right. Exactly.
this
So,
is just what that is.
and
Okay,
this
so
that's a long, and this is a long term investment, right? I mean, it's
it
not
is.
it's
It
not it's
is.
not going to turn over in,
Exactly.
right? So
Yeah. And long term means a couple of things, as you know. In my mind, long term means it's going to be there for a while, over
mm-hmm,
5 to 7 years. That's long term,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
And you're going to take advantage of downturns.
mm-hmm.
Long term in a portfolio that doesn't take advantage of market downturns, that's not what we're talking about. That's
Mm,
something different.
right.
We'll have to do another show about that. Yeah. I don't,
Ah,
yeah, we have to do something different about that. So, diversification, that's a very good thing. Spread those assets around, because you never know what's going to go down and how much it's going to go down and when it's going to come back up and how much it's going to come back up. You can make money on modest ups and downs. You don't have to have these huge swings, right?
mm-hmm.
Which is what most people want, but we don't control how that happens. So,
Right, exactly.
so number
But
one,
that's why you're always talking about rebalancing, right? At
yes,
completing the questionnaire, right, to
yes,
make sure that you're in the same your life, your positioning is the same as it was earlier.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll send you a questionnaire if you want. There's tons of them online. Every reputable mutual fund company that I know of has a questionnaire, and they'll happily send it to you. It's not that big a deal. You can get them. So, and every person that has a 401k plan or 403b or 457, any of those types of qualified plans has a huge amount of access to several different of those questionnaires. And they're all basically the same, 8 to 12 questions, yes or no. And they put you in sometimes 5, sometimes 6 categories. And that's it.
Mm.
I wish it was more complicated so I could get paid more, but that's it.
It is what it is. Huh?
It is what it is.
Oh, okay. And then the next important one.
Oh,
All three
yes.
being very important.
Yes, yes. Oh, well, and I want to go back a little bit to number 2. When I say
Okay.
diversify your investments, I mean really diversify. I don't mean have 3 investments. I mean, you need 12 to 15 of these bad boys, not just 3. That's truly diversify. 3 is not diverse. And
Okay.
diversifying in the same category, like I don't want to see somebody walks in here with 5 large cap index funds from different managers. No. Let's get different asset classes, different managers, the whole thing. That's diversification. A lot
Okay.
of more the better. Okay. All righty. The last one, and I think this is probably the most important one. I'm just gonna have to go out on a limb and say that. It is avoid emotional decision making.
Mm.
That's the tough one. Don't panic. Don't
Yeah.
don't react to what somebody says and go off and make changes. Don't do that. For some of the reasons that we talked about before, right? I mean, by the time you hear it, it's already happened.
It's already happened. So
you're late.
yeah, panicking is not going to help you because it's already a done deal anyway.
Exactly. Panic never did anybody any good. I was talking with a gentleman. I have a book club, and he said, "Worry never did anyone any good. Stay calm. You can get yourself through a situation so many times so much better if you stay calm.
Yeah.
You focus on what you need to do. Panicking never did anybody any good. So don't panic.
Good advice. Don't panic.
Don't panic. When was the last time you panicked?
No. I don't. Well, during the pandemic, it was a little uncomfortable, but I'm pretty much in control of.
I meant with regard to your finances. I'm not saying just
No,
panic.
that's what I mean with finances.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Prior to the pandemic, I think there was a couple of times, but yeah, I just for me being an entrepreneur, I work more from a place of preparation and planning, and in multiple diverse revenue streams, so that I'm not reliant on one. And so and understanding for me, from a business standpoint, understanding where the potential to generate more revenue, which then can be invested into my retirement plan and things like that. So
Good for you.
yeah, that's how I look. That's how I do it. I I have some friends that are always, and they get so mad at me. They're like, "You're gonna play the lottery?" It's like, no. No, I'm not. But you could win. Yeah, me and millions of other people too. Yeah, no. I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna put some other things in place to make sure I just be nice, but
Well, you don't win if you don't play.
You don't win if you don't play. Generally, if I do that, I have a difficult time remembering where I put the ticket, and then going to find out what the number. So like, that's just not me.
Yeah, you're just not. That's not.
That's just not me.
How's it go? That dog won't hunt? Yeah, that's not gonna.
Yeah, I like something a little bit sure. I don't gamble for that same reason because. Yeah, no.
Yeah, the house always wins. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm certainly not going to dissuade someone from going in for the lottery. I mean, if that's your thing, don't do it with your retirement plan money.
There you go. And don't start your business with your retirement plan money either.
Exactly. If you can avoid that,
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, so I remember the last time I panicked was before I got in the business, and we've all bought uh, bad products from good salespeople. So
Mm-hmm.
someone came into my living room, sold me a song and dance, and I panicked. And when I panicked, my girlfriend panicked. We put a bunch of money in, and we lost it.
Mm.
That's just the way that simple as that. We lost it. I wasn't in the industry yet. I didn't have the training. I didn't have the advantage of talking to someone like myself.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't go to my parents. Too much pride to do that,
Mm.
and I couldn't go anywhere else. So yeah, you can find yourself caught up in situations, and you can find yourself reacting to situations, and they sound so good at the time, and then you end up losing your shirt or getting yourself in a bad position. So, if you can avoid making decisions based on emotions, it's just so much better. And I think one of the best things to do is don't do like I did, but one of the best things to do that is talk to someone
Yeah.
that is supposed to be there to help you. And it's okay to talk to a couple of people.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. I've never met a financial advisor that said, "Oh, you can't talk to anybody. You can only talk to me."
Mm.
I've never seen that. It's not in their milieu to say something like that. So get a couple of opinions, think about it, talk to your spouse, your parents, whoever, um, people who know.
Yeah.
Don't go on the back porch. Like,
Street corner. None of the street corner consultants. You wanna, but research, right? I remember, I guess in 2008 when we had the crash,
mm,
and everything was like there were a number of investment seminars and stuff going around, and I remember TD America had a series of workshops that I attended during that time, and it was a lady sitting next to me, and she said that she dabbled in the stock market, and so she had lost some money, and so she was saying, and they were talking about this in the seminar, and so she was here to learn. Because when the way she learned, she lost that money was because she really didn't understand, right? You know, and
okay.
under the impression that you put a large sum of money and you're going to get back a large sum of money out of it, and so she lost $250,000, which would have like leveled me.
Wow.
And so she was calm as a cucumber.
There
But
you
she
go.
might have already had her emotional panics way before she got to this workshop. But she was there because of the fact she lost that money because she really truly didn't understand the marketplace, the stock
Mhm.
market, and
Yeah.
buying low, selling high, and that kind of stuff. Understanding, really reading the reports and what the company is like on behind the scenes, doing all that, right? So she was there to learn that. So that was a little like, wow, okay. Yeah, you need to know what you're doing, or you need to be with you need to have someone that is a professional in that area, that's their business, and they can give you better advice than you just kind of pulling stuff out the sky.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah.
said. Well said. I
Yeah.
couldn't have
So
said it better than that. I
yeah.
think sometimes we forget what risk is.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, I love saying you got to risk it to get the biscuit. However, um, it is a risk, and risk means you can lose your money. It's
You
not.
can lose your money. So you got to do your homework. You got to do your research. You got to, like you said, you got to talk to professionals, but you just can't, just because somebody, you heard it at the barbershop or wherever, and it was a great deal. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do 3 times the amount that they did. Yeah, okay. And really not understanding. So yeah, it
Yeah.
happens. So no, I guess I've never been the emotion when it comes to my money. I'm not that emotional, man. I do a whole lot of thinking before I start spending big money.
Cool.
Weigh all of the options.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
good sense. Well, on
Yeah.
that note, I think we should bring this episode to an end.
Okay.
So I'll just review our 3 points that we wanted to make. Number one, review and rebalance your portfolio. Number two, diversify your investments. And then number three, don't get emotional about those decisions. So that's the 3 points that I want to make. I will, how about if I read your bio one more time and I'll
All
let you
righty.
have the last word? How's that?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, folks, for letting Crystal and I come into your home / office, computer, whatever it is that you're reading about. I don't know. Here's her. Here's her bio.
Your LinkedIn, your whatever, wherever you watching us.
Crystal is a business coach and consultant. She's the CEO of Mitchell Business Solutions, the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. She's the co-director of the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, a weekly online radio show. She's an instructor at Mount San Antonio Community College, a certified network for teaching entrepreneurship instructor, and a QuickBooks Pro Advisor financial strategist. I'm Jevon Thomas. I sell retirement plans, manage them, and I only sell qualified or non-qualified retirement plans. So if you have a question about that, please let me know. And Crystal, give us your last word, ma'am.
Okay, so this election, as you said, is going to be quite it's going to be something. How about that? It's going to be something. So, but again, know that during election time, as we talked about, it can be some uncertainty. So just sit tight and see how it pans out on the November 6th. And then after that, if you got to panic, then call Jevon.
Don't call Crystal.
But don't panic initially. Just wait. Just digest it over the night. Sleep on it. It's bound to turn around in some direction. But no, just be cautious and just take a deep breath. That's all we're going to tell you. Take a deep breath. That's what we all going to be doing. Taking a deep breath on November 5th.
Indeed. Well said, ma'am. Said. And that is it for us. And we will see you next week. Welcome home, Crystal.
All right. Thank you.